Good day, traders, and welcome to Admiral Markets and Forex Street joint webinar. Here, Nenad is speaking, and today I will present you with dynamic trading system, the system that is designed to trade markets on intraday basis, but also for novice traders, it's very suitable. I have personally created it, and it can also be used to scalp. So I try to actually present something a little bit different to novice traders who want to get an entry into the market. This webinar is a part of joint webinar of Admiral Markets and Forex Street. And before I begin, standard risk disclaimer explaining that CFD and Forex trading are leveraged products and can result in losses that exceed your deposit. So this is not suitable for everyone. This video is not part of admiralmarkets.co.uk website, but the globallyused.com website. Forex is risky business, and this is not an advice. This is personal opinion only. So as I say, I am the creator of this simple system, and I will present it live, of course. I won't be presenting any PPTs with explanation how to trade the system. So if you want to learn about the rules, you should watch this recording and watch it live. And I think that it will be really easy to understand. The learning curve of this system is, let's say, low to medium, simply because there are some rules that we need to respect, and we need to follow this system, let's say, more mechanically than other systems. So that is why this kind of system is good for traders who want to start to trade Forex market. First, let me begin with the indicators. The indicator that we will use for the system, the first one, is called Scalper Candles, and that indicator actually shows an average of standard Japanese candlesticks, and color-coded. Those candles are color-coded to show whether the move is bullish or bearish. We can, of course, change the color in the indicator itself, but let's say by default green is bullish movement and red is bearish movement. We need to use scalper candles because those candles are a little bit lagging and they confirm the trade additionally. Next indicator is regression channel. Regression channel is usually subject to so-called repainting, but if you put it on a certain setting that I will show you later, actually you can definitely remove that repainting option from a regression channel. The problem with so-called regression channel is if inside the indicator, if a certain setting is set on 5, 4, or 3, the indicator will much more adapt to the past than it will actually show you the real price in present. Regression channels are always dynamic, very dynamic channels of support and resistance. But if we remove that part of so-called repainting, that adaptation to the past will be much lower than if the channel is set on higher setting. That's very important, guys, to understand, because sometimes these kind of channels can really plot nice reversal moves and nice breakout moves out of markets, and they're very suitable to trade not just major pairs but also some exotic crosses too. But of course, before you start to trade exotic crosses, definitely you need to be familiar with the system itself. Okay, now guys, let me explain the next indicator in fast. It's called Fibonacci Channel. Fibonacci Channel is an indicator that plots dynamic levels of support and resistance on actually intraday time frame by using Fibonacci dynamic channels. That indicator is based on Fibonacci ratios, but it plots intraday levels based on predetermined calculation within the indicator itself. Why do we use Fibonacci channel indicator that plots those Fibonacci levels? Because, guys, in trading, it's always important to know the simple fact. You should definitely be more profitable if you try to buy low and sell high. It's very important for you to understand that kind of concept. Buying low, selling high is something that also hedge fund traders do, bank traders, institutional traders. So you, as a retail trader, should always aim to trade as institutional traders do. Why? Because, simply said, you follow the market. As a retail trader, you follow ones who can actually move the markets. And don't forget that central banks, that commercial banks, but let's say central banks are at the top of the food chain in the Forex world. And if you follow if you follow them by simply getting into buying low and selling high, your risk to reward and your win to loss ratio should definitely become much more higher. It's very important, guys. I cannot stress out how it's important to understand the concept of buying low, selling high. Of course, guys, this is a simple system. So this is good for scalping, good for some small entries on intraday time frames. You can trade accounts with it. You can practice it. If anything is not clear, you can always send me an email, of course, and I will answer your questions. But have in mind that it's a good entry into the market where you should learn to buy low and selling high and sell high by following the rules of the system. And next indicator is so-called dynamic zone RSI indicator. Dynamic zone RSI indicator is a simple indicator that actually follows Bollinger Band and RSI. Contrary to many opinions, RSI indicator is a leading indicator. And now, of course, I can elaborate on that, why RSI is leading indicator, but we don't have the time to in-depth analysis of RSI. But of course, you can always watch, you can always read Admiral Markets educational section. There you will read about RSI indicator and why it's a leading indicator. You can always follow it. So the article explains actually the RSI, but definitely don't forget that whenever you trade RSI, it's usually a confirmation indicator. So you can confirm the trend, you can confirm overbought and oversold zone, and actually you can learn by using RSI, again, that simple and yet effective concept of buying low and selling high. So RSI is a leading indicator, and when you add it to a Bollinger Band, that is also a channel indicator that actually can give you breakouts, can give you reversal trades, then you get an effective indicator for placing entries. So in this system, dynamic zone RSI indicator is actually used for entering your trades. So we will use this to enter a trade, okay? It's also very, very important to understand the concept of not just buying low, selling high, but support and resistance. Because when price gets to a certain spot, and those spots are called pivot points, it tends to react, okay? Just because price reacts at a certain spot, it doesn't mean that you can immediately place a trade that can go in profits. For that, you need a confirmation. That is why we have different tools to confirm the entry. And here, guys, you can actually see it here. This is RSI indicator, so you can navigate there, and here it's a great explanation why RSI levels are that important. Now, we having said that, guys, it's time to actually show you how the screen looks like, and this is how the system looks like. The background is actually black. It's I prefer personally white, but I know that traders who start to trade, they simply like to see a black colored background with some colorful candles. So actually, these are the colors that I picked for this template. But of course, you can always choose to, let's say, to change the colors. But this is just, as I say, this is an example how this template looks like. Everything is customizable. You can change whatever you wish. And now, first, let me explain about scalper candles. Okay, so these are so-called scalper candles. And when you use it on those settings that are by default on these templates, it will give you a lagging confirmation of an entry. Why a lagging confirmation? Simply, guys, because you need to use a confirmation to enter the market. And the confirmation should not be all immediate. Because if you use immediate entries, the chance is that market can turn against you. So you want additional confirmation that you can go in a trade. So that is why these candles, you see, they're very simple and they're very similar to Heikin-Ashi candlesticks. And here you can see those candles are actually green. When you have a final confirmation that you should go long, these candles will become green. For selling trades, for sell trades, of course, candles should be red. So you don't go against the rule. For buying, green candles. For selling, red candles. Okay. Next indicator is, as I said, regression channel. When you go to indicators list, and here you can find regression channel, this degree is very important on regression channel indicator. I have personally noticed when you change this setting or degree of regression channel, the indicator will adapt to past more than it should. So when you take a look in the past here, definitely you cannot, you will always see that it gave a perfect entry. But in reality, it doesn't happen, guys. That is why you actually need to lower the degree of regression channel, and by using it, you will see the channel that adapts to the past much less often than if degree is actually set to a higher extent. Standard deviation for this channel should be 2 for this system. Bars just means how many bars the channel will go in the past. And shift, you can leave it as it is, because if you shift it, it will move. So actually you can try to back test it. So it's just used for back testing purposes. You should leave this as it is. Okay. Now, Fibonacci channel. Okay, here, guys, you can enter the start hour and start minute of your Fibonacci based pivot points. Why is this important? It's important because, well, I always advise you to trade with Admiral Markets, as I also trade with. And I'm, as you know, guys, maybe you don't know, I'm not just an analyst, I'm also a trader, a professional trader, and I have my accounts with Admiral Markets. So this is what we use for trading with the platform. Start hour, now I will put 10 o'clock. So when you put 10 o'clock, you will find a good time for starting hour of this Fibonacci based pivot points with our platform Admiral Markets. And you will see here these Fibonacci pivots are just switched to reflect a possible change in the start hour. Starting minute should be left blank. And finally, dynamic zone RSI indicator. These are the colors. Blue color is for support, red color is for resistance. And of course, guys, you can always change it. I tend to leave this By default, RSI period is on 5, band period is 30. Have in mind that these are Bollinger Band periods, guys. Bollinger Band periods, also blue, you see, red. You can change the colors whatever you like. It's not important. So the most important thing is how to trade with the system. And as I say, everything is customizable. If you want to get a system, just send me an email, and okay, of course, I will send you the indicators and the template. Okay, so what I want to say here, what is important, how we trade a system. First of all, guys, we, as I say at the beginning, we want to buy low and sell high. Okay, the primary rule is price tends to gravitate towards pivot points, guys. Here you see that pivot points changed. Why? Because this is 10 o'clock here. You can always plot the line. Let me show you here. Okay, and you see it's 10 o'clock. So these are pivot points, Fibonacci pivot points for this day. But here, guys, you can see how those pivot points looked for the previous day, then previous day, and so on. So these pivot points can also show history. Now, why is this important? Because here, guys, you can see pivot point for this day was 23.73. And here, just before the day started, we had a possible buy trade. Now, as I say, this system can be traded on intraday basis, but also the system can be traded not just on intraday basis, guys, but also in a form of scalping. Now I will explain two types of entries you can actually trade this system with. If you're late in a trade, so let's say that your entry was actually here. The first rule for entry, blue line should cross red line on your chart. So this is the first rule. So this is the first step, okay? Here, blue line crossed red line. Then you need a confirmation. Confirmation is green scalper candle. So here you will see a green scalper candle. Okay, so this is additional step. Final step for confirmation is you need to assess this signal as a trader, because whenever you see a signal from an indicator, you need to assess the signal as a trader. Is this signal a valid signal? Now, for validity, we need to reject from blue line on regression indicator, and we need to be at least on pivot point or support 1, support 2, or support 3, because you want to buy high and you want to sell, sorry, you want to buy low and you want to sell high. You don't want to buy here, guys. We might have a long trade because the trend is too strong, but with this system you cannot just buy here. You need, because you see this is the first step, but it's at resistance. I'm not saying that it won't go more to the upside, but with this system you actually need to wait for a sell trade, guys. Okay, I will go step by step. So here, first rule is to have blue line cross this red Bollinger Band. The second confirmation is green candle. Then you need to see, is it rejecting from pivot point or lower levels in conjunction with lower regression channel support. Because it happened here, and this is the confirmation. You would have made nice amount of pips if you traded this to the long side. You see 85 possible pips. Of course, if you read the analysis that I posted yesterday on Admiral Markets and Forex Street, you would have made even more. You would have made 100 pips on pound dollar today, because pound dollar is very, very strong. And here you see the confirmation of my analysis also with this system. Now, where can you go short? Of course, shorting trades can only be found here at the top. So you need to have a cross, you need to have red candle, and there you go. So here we could have had some small scalp in the market. Okay, first we saw rejection. So this was the first step here. when blue crosses the blue Bollinger Band from above. Here from above, you see the blue line crossed Bollinger Band from above. The next confirmation is red scalping candle here, and it's already above Fibonacci resistance. And here, guys, so you could have made some nice scalp into the market for some, well, 20 pips, not bad. So no matter, guys, what the price might do, it might still go up. You actually, with this system, you are not buying here and you are not selling there. The only thing you can do is buy low or sell high. Let's see, for example, euro dollar today. Euro dollar today, guys. Okay, here we had a trade. Okay, this actually happened during the night, but you see here, blue line crossed red line from below. Then we had the next step is confirmation, green candle, guys, and here. Okay, so your first target is always regression channel line. But if you see a big momentum to the upside, then like here, you can even aim for the next target. Targets are Fibonacci pivot points, okay, clearly displayed on your chart. Also, you have a visual confirmation of the exact level because these pivot points plot also these levels here. See, 78, 91, 98. And here, guys, actually, you wanted to see a confirmation. Confirmation for sell trade would be that price hits this level here, but here also you need to have dynamic zone going here above this purple line and then switching, making a hook from above to below this resistance, and then only then you can sell euro dollar. Okay, now, guys, what I said about scalping, let's say that you didn't make this trade because it was a bit late. The trade happened around 2:15 platform time, so it's 12:15 GMT. So let's say, of course, it's not a big trading session because trading after midnight, real trading starts on Tokyo session, and this was just before Tokyo session. And let's say that you missed the trade. How can you re-enter the market? By scalping. Then you need to focus just on this middle line on this system. So your entry could be here. If you're late in your let's say intraday position, this is your entry. Price needs to break middle line, okay, either from above or from below. And you don't watch for scalping. You don't watch dynamic RSI. Dynamic RSI is only used for intraday trades. For scalping entries, guys, this was your scalping entry. So this was a long trade, okay, and here you had a confirmation for a scalp entry. How you take profit on scalps? This is your entry, and as soon as next candle finish, you take your scalp entry. You take your profits. So this is where you could make profits. Your stop loss is 2 pips below your support. So this is support, and here you could make some nice scalping trade just by following the breakout of middle regression channel line. So actually now you see with this system, you have 3 different type of entries. Intraday from major reversal points such as confluence of Fibonacci and regression channel confirmed by RSI, break of middle line with scalper candles for scalping, and reversal of these trades. So if we want to go short on euro dollar, we still need to see dynamic RSI going above and then making a U-hook with confirmation also from these indicators. Now, if anything is not clear, guys, of course, feel free to ask me. As I say, this is a system for beginners, but also some traders who have some experience in Forex trading can also use it. For additional confirmation, of course, you don't need to use any other indicators. And please have in mind that I personally tested the system on 15-minute time frame. So I didn't use any other time frame except for 15 minutes, simply because 15-minute time frame is we can call it a great time frame for scalp swings. And scalp swing is term that I use for something in between scalping and intraday trading. So 15-minute time frame is a great compromise for both scalping and intraday trading, because scalping is usual on 5-minute, intraday trading is usual on 1 hour time frame. So 15-minute time frame is a compromise. Okay, if you want the template and the indicators, guys, just send me an email, and of course I will send it to you. My email is tarantulafx@gmail.com, and you will have this, of course, for free. If you have any questions, you can ask me now. I hope that everything is clear. Okay, let's see one more example with short entries. Okay, here, guys, short entries. We can try to find short entry. Here, dollar yen, definitely we couldn't make any intraday position because those maximum projection levels have not been reached. You see, candles stop short just below intraday resistance, but we could make a scalp trade here, guys. Okay, so here we could make scalp trade. This was your, actually this was your scalping entry here. Okay, when price broke the middle line, this was your scalping entry. You will see occasionally, guys, one tip for you. You will occasionally see that these scalping entries can also be closed for more than 10-15 pips. So what you do then, let's say that you made your stop loss couple of pips above this pivot point. So always use add spread to your stop loss. And here, guys, if you see that price is moving in your favor, my advice is just move stop loss here below or above this Fibonacci pivot. So if the price broke through this pivot, just move your stop loss here. Okay, so it would look like this. Your initial stop loss was here. Price goes down, breaking this pivot line. You just move your stop loss here. And if you use Admiral Market Supreme Edition, you can do it very, very effectively, because it allows to move your stop loss dynamically with a simple left click on the mouse. So you can do it dynamically. And then you use so-called profit stop. Profit stop is a form for actually protecting your profits and enjoying a free ride should the price continue with a full momentum to the downside. Okay, so now according to the system, it's time to watch for possible long entries, because here we have a hook. We need a red, we need a green candle, and that will be a confirmation for a long trade. So thank you, guys, for listening. I don't see any question, so I assume that everything is clear. Feel free to email me if anything you need, with the system. And also, guys, feel free to email me for any questions regarding this specific system. Thank you for listening. This webinar is being recorded. It's on Facebook Live. And as I said, it's a part of Admiral Markets and Forex Street joint webinar. Thank you for listening. Thank you for your support, and talk to you soon. Cheers. Trade safe.